Hello people, what I want to do today is do a video response to a video that was put up that I watched this morning by MrMotoVlogger. MrMotoVlogger put a video up called Cheating, and the reason for it was that he discovered his long-term girlfriend had been cheating in one form or another. You need to watch the video. And at the same time, a close member of his family is not very well, and he kind of doesn't know where he is at the moment. His head's spinning, and it's not a good time for him. And I put a comment on his video basically saying that I know how you feel, things will get better, maybe it wasn't meant to be. And I realised afterwards that that's quite a shallow sort of comment. He's probably thinking, oh yeah, I bet he does. And so what I wanted to do was sort of tell you a story, and particularly to MrMotoVlogger, a story of when I was younger, what happened to me. I was about 17. I'd moved out of my home. I was actually renting a room from my girlfriend's sister, who lived in a cottage on a farm. I'd been going out with a girl for about a year. They were looking for a lodger. I was looking to get out. Perfect. At the time, I was working for an electrical contractor, and we did work in all the army camps near Aldershot, sort of North Camp, a place called North Camp, Farnborough, Aldershot, round that way. And being an apprentice, I worked with a qualified electrician, and there were about 4 pairs of us doing the same work. And every so often, we get scraps of cable left over from the jobs we were doing, and they go into a box. And one of the guys would store these bits of cable in his shed, and at Christmas time they would be sold to the local scrapyard, and the proceeds would go towards a Christmas do. Anyway, one day I'm working with this particular guy. We had some scrap cable left over in a box that we collected through the week. Right, let's go down to this guy's house, drop it off in his shed with all the other bits. When we got there, the shed was empty. Turns out the guy had hit hard times and sold it all and used the money for himself. Now, they didn't really sort of go for this guy and didn't really sort of they felt sorry for him in a way, but what they did do was they decided that from now on they'd keep the cable somewhere else. Now, being an idiot and being 17, I turned around and said, I live on a farm, there's loads of spare buildings, I will look after it in one of those buildings. I asked my girlfriend's sister if that was okay, explained to her what it was, she said fine, and so it was. Go forward a few months, I was due to go somewhere in the evening with a friend of mine, and at the last minute he phoned up and said, look, I can't make it, I feel really ill, can't do it tonight. So I thought to myself, oh, that's alright, what I'll do is I'll surprise the girlfriend. I'll pop round and see her, she'll be well pleased, because I wasn't supposed to see her that evening. Be a nice surprise. So I think I jumped on a bike, I'm not sure, I think it was a bike. I jumped on a bike and headed over to her house. Now, as I say, they lived in the countryside, so it was down a country lane, not very big lane. And at one point I saw a van coming towards me, and in this van was a guy that I knew. He was a friend of their family. I was introduced to him very early on when I started going out with her, and I wasn't surprised to see him because he lived locally to them. But what I was surprised to see was sitting next to him with her arms all over him and kissing him on the cheek and cuddling up to him was my girlfriend. And MrMotoVlogger, I kind of know exactly how you feel. You kind of don't know how you feel, is the truth, because your head is spinning, you feel angry, your stomach's churning, you feel betrayed, you feel there's all sorts of emotions going on, and you don't really know what is going on in your head. And I did nothing more. I rode back to the sister's house where I was staying, and didn't even talk to them, went straight to my room. They soon picked up on the fact that I'd found out something, and the reason they picked up on it is because they knew what was going on. And of course, almost immediately that same evening, it was a case of, you know, that makes you staying here very awkward, you're going to have to leave. So I went back home, tail between my legs, and it was a tough time, but that wasn't the end of it. What happened next was that the girlfriend rang me up. Really, really sorry, it was a big mistake, I shouldn't have done it, blah 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 blah. Now, as much as I was into her, and I mean that in the emotional way, after she'd done something like that, I kind of wasn't interested anymore, because I felt that she's not the same person. How could she do that? And I said no. I said no, I can't handle it, sorry. You know, if you've done it once, you'll do it again. I can't trust you anymore. Upon hearing the fact that I wasn't going to forgive her, her sister and herself did no more than take all the cable that had been stored, all these offcuts that had been stored in the building in the farm, down to the police station and say that I was a thief and I'd stolen it. The police came round and arrested me. It gets better, doesn't it? My company, thinking that they'd found reels of usable cable, suspended me because they thought that I'd stolen, you know, proper reels of cable, and that I was a thief. Well, my first attitude, and I was 17, bear in mind, was if this company doesn't trust me and don't realise that I'm not a thief and this isn't real cable, I don't want anything to do with them. So I started looking for another job. So there I was on the Monday of this particular week. Job, girlfriend, place to stay, looking forward to what life had to offer. Friday, no job, nowhere to stay, back home, thought of being prosecuted by the police, and no girlfriend. So, Mr. Motovlogger, yes, I do know how you feel. And all I can say to you, and trust me, this is from experience, is that things happen for a reason. Okay? When we all get disappointed and we think, oh damn, I really wanted that, things happen for a reason. Now, I don't know what will happen with your relationship, but if you do decide that enough is enough, it will be for a reason, that it wasn't meant to be. And therefore, I can guarantee that in years to come, which is what I put in my comments to you, you'll look back and you'll realise that it was meant to be. And you'll be able to look at it like I look at the incident in my life at that time. It was, you know, I can talk about it now, it's fine. Because there are people out there that will come into your life and influence your life who will not take advantage, who will not abuse their position in your life, who will be honest, who will treat you how you want to be treated. And you'll realise that, and you will look back and realise that, okay, at the time it is extremely tough, and it is tough, but life will go on and life will get better. And that is all I wanted to say, really, just really for Mr. MotoVlog, to explain to him why I left the comment and why I can comment on his situation with some experience. It makes a change in me having experience, doesn't it? That was all, guys. If you're a biker, you ride safe. If you're not a biker, you be